That really generic home invasion movie from last year gets a sequel. The Purge Anarchy. So The Purge Anarchy is a sequel to The Purge. You remember The Purge where it was like, murder's legal for one day, and you're like, that's really interesting, and the movie was just some generic home invasion murder movie where you're like, I've seen this a zillion times before. And this one, it concentrates more on The Purge, and that's actually really cool. I saw the trailer for this movie and I was like, holy shit, it's like they're listening to their fans. And I gotta give this movie props for that. It's always awesome when filmmakers hear the fans and they're like, yeah, well, okay, we'll take that into account. In my review of The Purge, when I said it was just a generic home invasion movie, whether or not murder is legal or illegal doesn't matter because they're breaking into a house and trying to kill a family and the family's fighting them off, and that happens whether or not murder is legal or illegal. And I saw a comment in the comment section where someone was like, yeah, it would have been a lot better if someone, let's say a couple or a family, their car broke down in the middle of the purge and now they have to survive the purge. And I was like, yes, that would feel like you're actually in the world where murder is legal. And lo and behold, when I saw the trailer, I was like, that's exactly what they did. They had to have taken that from fans. And that's one of the story arcs in this movie, but it's not the only one. Ultimately, in this movie, you got the badass from Captain America, the Winter Soldier, who's kind of a dick also, but he's a badass in pretty much everything he's in. I like the dude. If you ever want like a gruff, likable, badass, hard guy in a movie, just put him in it. He is a man on a mission on Purge night. You can tell he's not completely a dick because he sees his family getting taken and he's like, right, I'll help him. So he helps them, and ultimately this group of 5 people get together, him included, and now they have to get from point A to point B and survive the purge. This movie's just ridiculous in every sense of the word. It kind of reminded me of Twisted Metal. You know, you got the souped up cars, you got a semi in the back rolls up, and this dude has a Gatling gun in an apron, and he's just slicing, he's just killing people, just shooting them. I was like, that is something out of Twisted Metal. It was like Twisted Metal's going on, but then these 5 people, they don't have a car, they just run. And you can tell The Purge Anarchy wants to set up for the next movie to be bigger. You know, maybe they want like an epic-ish trilogy, or maybe it'll be like Saw and they'll just keep it going every year. I don't know, probably that. I say Saw because this is what it kind of reminded me of. It reminded me of an enjoyable Saw movie. You're not gonna be like, that is great filmmaking. It's a great movie. X-Men Days of Future Past, Apes, who gives a shit about those? Those Purge movies, man, that's where it's at. Not gonna happen. It's a simple ass premise for sure, but you know what you're getting into when you go into this movie. People are gonna die, people are gonna try to kill, people are gonna kill, and people are gonna be running. But again, at least it feels like it is within a movie where murder is legal tonight. Tonight is an exception to all rules of life. I feel like The Purge Anarchy might as well be called The Purge Mulligan. It's a redo, it's a rethrow, it's what people were looking for in the first movie that they actually hit more in this movie. The movie's simple, but when it tries to be bigger, when it tries to be more epic than it probably should be, you feel like it's overreaching. It's like, dude, don't do that. You feel like the next one's gonna be this hardcore revolution against the government. You're like, what are you, mocking Jay? You're not that, man. You're like the $2 to $10 million movie that makes $30 million and you're all good being that. The crew of 5 people, that one of them is interesting, the rest you're like, whatever. If you do die, I'm not gonna lose sleep. That's another thing about this movie. I never felt like the tension was, holy shit, one of them might die. Just for the most part, they're all right because they got Solid Snake behind them. I mean, the support cast would have been perfectly functional if they were cannon fodder to die in a movie like this, which is usually what a support cast in a movie like this is. But none of them really die, so you're like, what's the point of you? I'm supposed to care? I don't care. In the end, The Purge Anarchy succeeds in the simple premise that it's trying to go for, which is people need to survive this night. That's a special night because murder's legal on this night. But it also fails in its overreaching to try to be this revolutionary franchise epic. I mean, revolutionary in the sense of a revolution. They're trying to overthrow the government and shit. The main dude's a badass. He carries roles like this really well, and this is no exception. It's completely unbelievable, but know what you're going into in this movie, and you'll probably have fun with it. As laughable as this movie is, since I enjoyed myself, I will say The Purge Anarchy, it's a pretty good time, no alcohol required. So The Purge Anarchy, have you seen it? What did you think about it? Whatever you thought, comment below, let me know. And as always, if you like what you've seen here and you want to see more, click right here to see more.